Hello everyone and welcome to Market Values. I am one of your hosts, Andy Hamilton. This is the show that's going to break down the fantasy football aspect of the SFL, and we're going to give you some of our picks and who we like in the upcoming week. Starting with week one right off the bat, I'm joined by my second co-host.
My name is Matt South. I'm the quarterback for the Los Angeles Sharks, and I am the co-host of Market Trends.
And we brought one special guest with us like we will do every week, and our special guest for week one is Max Paul. Max, introduce yourself.
Hi there, I'm Max Paul. I'm the owner of the Alaska Storm, as well as the co-host of Inside the SFL with yours truly, Doug Boas.
All right, now that we have our cast established, let's go ahead and waste no time getting right into it, guys. What we're going to do is we're each going to break down two players that we think are good values for the week. The way that the fantasy football works, if you don't know, each player is assigned a number in terms of how much you would have to pay to use that player in fantasy football that week. Your salary cap is set at $60,000. For week one, the gold stars are $9,000, the silver are $6,000, and the bronze are $3,000. So our job is basically to give you who we like for the week for the least amount of money if we can get it there, or who has the best matchup. So Max, let's go ahead. Since you're the guest, we'll let you start with the first player that you think is a good market value for the week.
Well, I really like Macho Fogg opening up against this Vegas squad, the second corner over there is a non-star. Macho Fogg, we've seen the damage he could do last season, this season with, bringing in some new blood in the coaching in LA. I could see him doing some major damage over there, especially with the difference in talent that he has over his matchup.
I like that pick. Our own Matt South is going to be throwing the ball to him, so I assume he likes that pick as well. What about Las Vegas do you think really is the golden matchup of opportunity for Macho Fogg, and why is it not Vegas's year when in Cleveland they had some rough years? Why is this year kind of on the same track, do you think?
Well, I don't know if it's on the same track per se, but the fact that, Macho Fogg being a silver wide receiver, lining up against a non-star corner, I don't know the direction that Vegas is headed defensive-wise, and in any matchup where they're stuck being one-on-one with no help, I do not like that non-star's chances. And with the way both teams are built, that defensive tackle better get on Matt South quickly, or if not, it's going to be a long game for Vegas.
That is a good point. Good point. So our first one is Macho Fogg. Is he a silver, if I'm correct? Right?
He's a silver.
Yes. So He'll be $6,000. So now we're gonna swing it to Matt for Matt's first pick. Matt, who you got this week?
I know this is going to be a pricey guy, but Charlie Monk, a gold corner for the Sharks. He's matched up with a bronze wide receiver, and Cleveland is historic for their bad QB play. I believe the stats last season were for every touchdown he threw, he also threw an interception. So if he tries to throw it Monk's way anytime, I'm just saying it could be very well picked off.
The Los Angeles defense. Max, you're a defensive guy. Let's talk about the addition of Kyle Walsh to that defense. Do you think that helps or hurts Monk in this situation?
As I was, saying in our episode of Inside the SFL, cheap plug, that we had our lunchtime holiday edition, that basically Kyle Walsh, by moving to LA, he turned it to Orlando West, and it's the same exact build as he had in Orlando last season with the 3-star linebackers, the 4-star DBs, including that gold, cornerback who last year was AJ Lacoste, who got 7 interceptions off our quarterback last year in that one game. And I could see Charlie Monk doing the same thing if Vegas is not careful as well. So, Matt, that's a great pick. It's a
good one for sure. My first pick is going to be I'm going to stick with kind of the Los Angeles theme here, unfortunately. Doug Boas, man, this guy, he kind of had some struggles last year in terms of tight end, but the year before that, an absolute monster with the tight end. That's something a lot of people don't really remember, don't think about. He's got this guy maxed out. He's a bronze, which means his value's way down this week. It's 3,000. And against this Vegas team, this tight end flies right under the radar. The Gamblers on defense last season were 15th ranked in scoring D. That's near the bottom. So in terms of touchdowns, LA is going to see him and the great value from that tight end really pushes him upwards on my list this week.
I agree. That's a great pick. I'm going to love throwing the ball his way.
All right, let's swing it back to Matt. Matt, do you have anyone on your list who's not a Shark this week?
I do. I have Dillon Roland for the Pride.
Okay.
Starting out last year, he wasn't too great, but the Pride as a whole, I think they were the 4th rushing defense is what I looked at. Gladiators are going to run heavy offense, so I'm saying the silver linebacker for the Pride is going to definitely lead in tackles this week.
Max, what do you think about that one?
I like it a lot, and I can see with the way St. Louis's team build looks, it looks like a team that's going to be leaning on the run a lot to kind of, create mismatches on the outside after the defense gets kind of nosy. So I could see Roland racking up some tackles this week.
All right, well, I guess if you like that one so much, I'll give you one you probably won't like me giving you. I'm going to go with, and I'm going to read this off the paper here because I know I'm not going to pronounce it right this time. Ajamu Afolabi. He's a linebacker for Mexico City. And the reasoning here is he's the only linebacker for Mexico City, which means if I'm predicting how Alaska's going to do, and Max, I'm pretty sure you're going to get tight-lipped on this one, so I won't even come to you with the question. If I'm predicting what Alaska's doing, I'm predicting they're going to pound that rock in the Alaska snow come January, and someone's got to tackle him. That's my thinking here, is someone has to tackle that running back. Afolabi, he's playing for Ramos Lynn, who had Devin Cabrera as his only linebacker last season, and Cabrera had 5.7 tackles per game last season. So not a huge number, but it could be something that if you tweak the right abilities, the guy could come up big against Alaska in a game that I think will be real tight and come down to maybe a field goal by Denali at the last moment. Matt, what do you think about that one? Because I think we should keep Max out of this one for fear of him giving up some offensive tricks and secrets.
I completely agree. My next pick would be, who I'm not going to take, is definitely going to play into the role of Alaska. But yeah, I like that pick. They have to. Let's be honest, they have to run the ball a lot. It's going to be cold. They're not going to throw the ball in the snow. So I like that a lot.
All right, let's send it to Max. Max, you got one more guy that you do like this week. Who do you got?
I like J. Calvin Kim, the running back for the Tallahassee Pride. Especially running into that Gladiator no linebacker defense. I don't know if I'm spoiling, what their plans are on defense, but it strongly looks like they'll be running some type of 46 or bare front kind of D. And if one of those, non-star linebackers misses a tackle, I can see J. Calvin Kim going a long way. And we all know that, the coach for the Pride, Frank Good, my dude, true shot caller, with the silver, when Dwayne Lane was a silver, he almost had him running for 2,000 yards. So Frank knows what he's doing with those silver running backs. So that's who I got for week 1 at least.
Sure. And
Calvin Kim.
Calvin Kim flying under the radar a little bit in the free agency market. But a big pickup for the Pride, and who knows, he could go off this week. I think I like that pick a lot, to be honest with you. Kind of a guy I missed in looking at rosters. Well, let's continue to not waste any time. Let's go ahead and jump into the guys we don't like for the week. Matt, why don't you start us off here? Who would you stay away from this week?
Chris Davis, the gold wide receiver for Mexico City. They're playing up in Alaska this week, and again, like I said earlier, I don't think the weather is going to allow them to throw the ball a lot, like they want to with that gold quarterback and that gold wide receiver. And, the Storm have a solid secondary and 4 DBs. So
Yeah, I don't remember who the defensive coordinator is in Alaska, but I think he would kind of have some words to say about Chris Davis on this one. Max, you care to comment, or are you just going to keep tight-lipped until the game is all said and done?
I'm going to keep tight-lipped.
I don't blame him. Well, I'll jump in here. Sticking with the same game, unfortunately, me and Matt kind of stuck with each other for this week. I'm going with Stevie T. Diggs, the cornerback for the Alaska Storm. I would stay away from him. As ironic as it sounds that you just picked Chris Davis to stay away from, Davis was a monster last year. I mean, the guy had 10 yards per catch. And what happened was his quarterback got better. His quarterback went from a silver to a gold. If you know anything about Ramos Lynn, you know he's going to be trying to utilize that from day one. Mexico City's a passing offense. I don't think the weather is going to affect his game plan. It might affect the play, but I think his game plan is still going to be to throw. And all it takes is really a couple passes, and Chris Davis could be on the board. And the other one to watch out for is KL Barrett, because in zones, Barrett will be the other guy who could be coming into the zone for Stevie T. Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Diggs might be someone to stay away from. And to the same token, if they go with a more run-based attack, I don't see Diggs getting a bunch of tackles, so he could be taken out of the equation completely. So I would definitely stay away from Diggs this week. Max, who you got to stay away from this week?
I'm sorry to say, but the quarterback for Oklahoma City, the Joseph Redfeather, I do not like his matchup this week against the Roughnecks at Dallas. The Roughnecks this season look like they have something to prove. Redfeather has struggled the last 3 seasons he's been in the league. They have the same team build they had last year when Redfeather struggled. I don't see what changed in OKC to help Redfeather play better this season. So I don't like him this week coming up against the Roughnecks. Even though this is a new look Roughneck squad. Last year's Roughnecks were number 1 in the league. They had number 1 overall defense yardage wise in the league, and they changed the team build up a little bit, to kind of lean more offensively. But I don't like Redfeather, at least not this week.
A very tough game in the Texas, Oklahoma area that I think is flying under a lot of radars for the season. In week 1, I think a lot of teams are kind of discounting what Oklahoma City's doing, Max included. So we'll have to see what Redfeather can bring to the table. I disagree with it, but I think the quarterback situation for the league this week will be a little bit interesting. It'll be interesting to see who proves themselves. There's a lot of weapons. The weather in Alaska plays a factor that I think we touched on a lot. Weather in general could play a big factor. Sioux Falls, quarterback's going there. Monroe, Tyree, who knows how the weather will affect those games. Queen City as well. I don't think they play this week. But speaking of matchups, let's go ahead and get our pick'em going for the week. Well, the way we're going to do it is I'm going to pick, Matt's going to pick 14 weeks, 14 guests. We're going to compile their records each week and see how they match up between Matt and myself. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into LA and Las Vegas. I have LA. Matt, who you got?
I have LA too.
Let's make it a clean sweep. I have LA as well.
All right. Who wants to jump on this grenade?
I'll jump on it.
All right, Matt.
Las Vegas is, they've had troubles in Cleveland. I don't think they'll change that coming from Las Vegas. Bad quarterback play. 1-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. We got a gold corner. I'm expecting big things from Charlie Monk this week.
All good points. Let's head to the second matchup I got on my list here. Baltimore at Atlanta. I have Baltimore. Matt, who you got?
I have Baltimore.
I have Baltimore as well.
Baltimore with a queen sweep. Max, you want this one or should I take it?
I'll take it. With Atlanta being an unknown, and Baltimore, as we know, is just the most consistent team in the league year in, year out. They win enough games to make the playoffs. And, though sometimes they get out the gate slow, I have a feeling that TJ this season has something to prove to finally, be able to not only be good in the regular season, but finish it off. And it starts off with this jump-off point. And I don't know if Atlanta's ready for that full wide that Baltimore has as well.
let's waste no time. Mexico City at Alaska. I don't think we're all going to sweep here. I'm going Mexico City. Matt, who you got?
I'm going Alaska.
Max?
You really want me to pick? Like that. I have vested interest.
I figured I would ask. I'll jump on this one since I'm the odd man out. I'm going Mexico City. Alaska has a lot of question marks in terms of, like Max was saying with Atlanta, they're a new team. They're trying to figure some stuff out. They're either going to hit the jackpot big week 1 and they're going to win it, or they're going to kind of struggle and have to find themselves. I like Ramos in a game where he played so well last season with the build that he had. They upgrade Wilson, so Wilson's only getting better in terms of the passing game. I think it'll be a close one up in the snow. I think the game's a 2-point difference. And I got Mexico City, but these two guys got Alaska, so we'll just have to see. Next one, Tallahassee at St. Louis. I got Tallahassee. Matt, who you got?
Tallahassee.
Matt.
Another clean sweep. I like Tallahassee as well.
Tallahassee it is. Matt, you're on this one.
With Dillon Roland being Tallahassee's, I'm wanting to say he's his only linebacker. He is their best linebacker. I think he is going to make a lot of tackles, and I think he's going to stop the run game that St. Louis has. And I think that St. Louis also isn't an established team like Atlanta and Alaska. I think Tallahassee's got it.
That's a good point. All right, OKC at Dallas. I got Dallas. Matt, who you got?
I got Dallas as well.
All right, I think it's an interesting matchup. It's one that could, we've seen OKC surprise us a couple times last season. It's not as cut and dry as I think people think. I'm leaning Dallas this year for one reason and one reason only, and it's someone we've kind of pulled away from in this show that maybe we should have gone back to and thought about a little bit. Mag Wavy Jr., I mean, one of the highest sought-after free agents this offseason, despite the muck that I pretty much brought upon him. I'll take that one on the nose. But the guy's a good player. I'll give him that much. OKC, a big question mark for me. That's basically their team build. The whole thing is a question mark. It'll either turn out for the better or for the worse. I like Dallas in a week 1 matchup where it's a toss-up. Every week 1 matchup is a little bit of a toss-up. I like Dallas to come out on top on this one. And so now we're going to get to the game of the week. Big old game heading up on Monday after Red Zone. And the game is Carolina at Sioux Falls. I mean, I'm not even gonna play. You know who I got. You know who I got. I got Carolina. Matt, who you got?
Oh man, I got Sioux Falls.
I got Carolina.
Max, this is you, man.
All right. As we all know, last season, who gave Sioux Falls their first loss? I wonder. As we know as well, now coming into the season, they made some tweaks on defense. They made some tweaks on offense to kind of have a more powerful offense to go along with the defense. Sioux Falls made some tweaks on that build as well. They're more heavily leaning defense this year. They have no running back. The running back is a non-star. I don't know how well that will bode against teams that line up 2 silver DBs or better, like Carolina does. And that's why I like Carolina this game, to go on the road to steal one from Sioux Falls.
Talk that talk, Max. Talk that talk. All right, so for all of us here at Market Trends, this has been week 1. Signing off, I'm Andy Hamilton.
I'm Matt South.
I'm Max Paul.
And we got one last thing from each of us heading into week 1. Max, start us off.
Baltimore, watch out for Michael Said doing his thing as a number 2 against a bronze corner. Just, y'all know where y'all heard it first.
Matt, what do you got?
I'm Charlie Monk taking on Mario Savage, 1-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. I cannot say that enough.
And I'm going to be honest, I'm going to give a shout to my guy, Maurice Spurgeon, moving back to free safety. Watch out, because he's going to knock your head if you come across the middle. I've seen it in too many practice sims. It's going to happen, so watch that for week 1. Sign off. We'll see you guys next week.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Peace.